Hello and welcome to today's broadcast. It's lovely to see you here, wonderful pianist. And if you don't know me, if you haven't been around here before, my name is Ruth Power. I am the founder of the Piano Picnic online school where you can learn to play the piano creatively, bite by bite. Why is playing rhythms so difficult on the piano? Pianists, when we get into learning the piano, we don't really imagine that we're going to have to be a rhythmic master. We normally associate that with playing the drums or playing percussion, or maybe even playing rhythm guitar. But as pianists, we don't normally think that we're going to have to play complex rhythms. We can feel rhythm quite naturally, but where it becomes difficult is putting that rhythm into the two different hands, and that's where most people struggle. The first thing that we need to talk about when it comes to rhythm for pianists is actually not rhythm at all. It's actually something called tempo. The difference between rhythm and tempo is something that we don't often talk about. We need to make sure that we have a strong foundation for our rhythms. And just like anything, if we don't have a strong foundation, then whatever we try to build on top is just going to fall over. So we need to talk about tempo and make sure that your sense of tempo, or what we could call our internal musical clock, is strong. Many times when we slip up with a rhythm, it's actually due to not having that strong tempo or that strong internal musical clock. Let's think about definitions. A tempo is how fast or slow the music is overall, and that's in reference to the beat. Now, when we measure tempo, we measure it in beats per minute. So however many beats there are in a minute is how fast or slow the tempo of the song is. Where we can get confused is thinking that because a rhythm is fast, that the tempo is also fast. But that's not necessarily true, because the tempo is how fast or slow that beat is, beats per minute. The rhythm is the timing of the notes that go on top of that beat, on top of that tempo. So we can have a complicated fast rhythm over a slow tempo. So this is our tempo. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to make a busy rhythm. So that's one thing to look out for, okay, when we're trying to keep our strong tempo, is to not let the fact that it's a busy rhythm change our steady internal musical clock. One of the common pitfalls of playing a more complicated rhythm amidst a simple rhythm is that it tends to make us think, oh, this bit's faster, so we speed up, whereas we want to make sure that our internal clock is going nice and steady. So similarly, let's do the opposite thing. So a faster tempo with a simpler passage. So that was a simpler, more straightforward on-beat rhythm, but to a faster tempo. Now, if similarly with our other example, when we have a simpler passage for a faster tempo, it makes us want to slow down our tempo. In our minds, we go, this bit's easier, and so therefore my tempo is going to slow down. And so you've got to be mindful of that when we're playing pieces, or even when we are just improvising. Make sure you've got that steady internal clock that doesn't change depending on the rhythm. It doesn't change. It just keeps on going real steady. And there's a couple of ways that you can start to exercise your feeling of tempo. We're going to keep the beat with our body, either with your head or with your body. However, when you're at a really good concert and you're really feeling it, however your body moves is how I want you to start keeping the beat in your body. Because You can think it, you can have a metronome that's playing it, but the only way that it's going to really going to get it coming through you is to feel it and to internalize that beat. And then that way, it's sort of naturally in you. You almost can't play against something that's already coming out of your body. The second point is get your metronome going. Make it your friend. When you're playing a piece, keep it in time, or even if you're just riffing, practicing some riffing over a chord progression or a lead sheet, get your metronome going, make it your friend. If you don't like the sound, and I know nobody really likes the sound of a metronome because it can be a bit harsh and it sort of feels like it's taking the joy and musicality out of what you're doing. Come on, man. Just find a metronome that has a better sound. There's a great little app that I use called Pro Metronome. It's available on iOS and Android. And no, this isn't sponsored, but it's great because you can buy the paid version. It's only a couple of dollars, and it gives you a lot of choices with your metronome. Not only what time signature and what tempo you're going to do, but also you can choose what type of sound is going to be your metronome. But the reason I recommend getting a metronome app is that you can increase the tempo over time. You can practice for a little bit at 80 beats per minute, and then you can try it at 85, 90, 100 as you are keeping that tempo. Make sure you are moving your body, as I said in point 1. Once you build up the strength of that, you are going to find that playing rhythms becomes a lot easier because you're not slowing down in difficult passages and you're not speeding up in slower passages, or vice versa. So if you're keeping that tempo going and you find that a rhythm is too complicated by keeping the speed steady and you need to slow down the tempo in order to keep up with the rhythm, then you need to isolate that rhythm and play it on its own and master it better so that you are able to play it at tempo. And if you want some more tips for how to isolate rhythms and how to get your hands going separately to play a rhythm together, we are going to be talking about that in our coaching. This one, Rhythm Nation, where you're going to learn how to break down more complex rhythms and more amazing exercises for building up your rhythms in both hands. So what is that coaching? If you want to learn more about it, go to there. That's where it all happens. Become a creative pianist. You get access to this coaching that's happening this month, the coaching that happens every month, and also all of my courses, which include lots of wonderful creative pianist skills. And I hope that you have a wonderful week, and remember to play it like you mean it.